Welcome back to Watkins Glen International for the NASCAR Winston Cup Bud at the Glen, where Mark Martin and Ernie Irvin are out front, and there are the top 15 at the moment. 38 laps out of 90 have been completed. There is Darrell Waltrip and Harry Gant as they run in 13th and 14th position.
And right behind him is Morgan Shepherd. He's contesting those positions in the 604 Ford. That's 13, 14, and 15.
Gant started 25th. Here's Morgan Shepherd, 604 Career 10 as they go through the McDonald's loop.
And they're passing Rick Mast as they come through here. By the way, Mast, of course, is back out on the racetrack after having spent a good bit of time in the garage area. And then he also mentioned that Jimmy Hensley had parked his car. He's back out on the track, too. I've seen him come by here several times.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, while you were saying that, I saw him go by, man. Oops, 55's back on the racetrack.
From our helicopter carrying the Rebestos cam through turn number 11 onto the front straightaway. The bridge there is right where the start-finish line is.
A lot of folks here today at the Watkins Glen Raceway.
They're estimating a crowd somewhere around 120,000, and boy, they got drenched overnight, I'll tell you, but they're beginning to dry out and enjoy the racing now. There, again, the leaders go through the loop.
That's Earnhardt, Rusty Wallace. Looks like Lake Speed is in there for busy, man.
Yeah, he is, but he's a lap down as a result of making the green flag pit stop.
Somewhere up there is our leaders. Looks like Mark Martin and Ernie Irvin is passing the car off turn 10. Hey, Jerry Punch, they've been, let's see, about 20 laps since they pitted. How long are they going to stay out there?
Well, Benny, ordinarily they could run about 30 or 31, maybe 32 laps, or some of them with a better fuel mileage. They pitted on lap 19, which will put them back in on lap 49 or lap 50. So here's what might happen in the leader's pit. If the chance of rain persists, which it does in the area, Steve Mills, what we might do is get past lap 45, which is the halfway mark, and then we might short pit it. In other words, we might be the first car to come on pit road, pitting even earlier than we would have to, maybe lap 46 or 47. If we're the first car to pit and we go back out, then everyone else has to pit. We're the leader. If the rain comes, we're looking good because we're past the halfway mark, and we'll collect us a victory. That's what might happen here in the Mark Martin pit. Let's check in with John Kearney.
Jerry, Jeff Bodine was back in on pit road. It wasn't a flat tire. They don't know what the problem is. They think it might have been the fact that the rear brakes were not heating up enough. It's a very cool day. They've got a couple of ducts, two hoses for each brake to bring in the cool air to cool them down. Ordinarily, you need that on a hot day, but today, since it's cool, that's hurting the car because he's not able to get the brakes heated up enough. So Paul Andrews climbed under the car, took a couple of shop towels, shoved them up in the ducts, and taped it up to close off one duct or one hose on each of the rear brakes.
And we're riding with Rusty Wallace once again, who is in 5th position. Just ahead is Earnhardt in 4th. There are 27 cars remaining on the lead lap as we near the halfway point.
Yeah, we look at Mark Martin as he's headed now up into the S's in the Valvoline neighborhood. Just on top of the hill right now, as a matter of fact. He comes onto the straightaway in 5th gear. They'll run up to about 150 miles an hour as
Dorsey, 4th gear.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're absolutely right. Maybe that's why Mark's winning this race. I don't know. Anyway, that's the inner loop. He just went through the McDonald's inner loop. This was the old turn 5, and this is a tricky part. It goes downhill. The camera doesn't really show it that much, but you've got to get a good run off of here because of the good straightaway. You see a car about to get lapped right in front of Mark there. Gets out of the way conveniently. Now, he's going across a bridge right here, and you have to brake, and you got to watch that you don't get the rear end hopping as you make this left-hander. The only left-hander, and in the meantime, we've had a spin right down here in front of me. It is Jeff Burton in the Rebestos Ford who has spun on the entry to turn 1, and he looks like to be high-centered on the curbing down here. Oh, there he gets it going.
And we're still green to start-finish line, Dorsey.
Still green. Jeff Burton underway. No damage to the car. He goes on. And here comes Mark Martin, as a matter of fact, through turn 1. So almost a complete lap.
By the way, we can't go any further without congratulating you, Mr. Schrader, on a great run yesterday in the Trans Am race here, finishing second to Ron Fellows.
All right, thank you very much. Here's the tail end of what happened. Oh, there might have been car contact. In fact, I think there was. It looks like Jeff Burton had got run into and spun there as he gets across the curving.
Looks like Steve Grissom in the 29 car was behind the next car directly behind the 8.
But Jeff Burton is underway again, and there is no caution. There is Mark Martin, the leader of the race, and the pole sitter. And the Unocal bonus money is up for grabs, $22,800.
Looks like he's put some distance on that 28 car.
Yeah, he has pulled away, Benny. There's no question about it. He is so smooth through these turns. We're talking about Mark Martin, and he is gradually pulling away from Ernie Irvin. We understand that maybe Ernie might be getting ready to pin here before too long.
So we talked about the 6 car making a short pit stop. It maybe the 28 is going to be even before he does. Here he comes in right now.
On the 43rd lap, Jerry, he's headed toward you at 35 miles an hour.
Exactly, Bob. 35 miles an hour. I told you Steve Mill wanted to be the first one to pit. Well, Larry McReynolds had beat him to it. Larry told me it was a short pit stop back in 1990 that allowed his driver, Brett Bodine, to collect the top 5 finish. He's going to try it again, this time with Ernie Irvin in the Texaco Havoline Ford. The car comes to a halt. They will change all 4 tires, add it full of fuel. Right and left side lug nuts coming off. Right side tires now off the car. New tires going on. A little bit of a gamble pitting us before the halfway mark, but we would expect now to see Mark Martin come in 2 laps. The leader should pit just past the halfway mark. Now right side tire going on Ernie Irvin's machine. Former winner here at the Budweiser at the Glen. It's full of fuel. He's off the jack, and he is down and away in a little over 27 seconds.
Now they got to pray for a caution flag, because if these other guys make green flag stops, they're going to be a long ways behind, because let's face it, Rusty Wallace, Mark Martin, all these cars are not going to make 27-second pit stops. Had a problem with the left side tires.
On the track, here is Jeff Gordon and Ricky Rudd and Terry Labonte all racing for position.
Turn 10, you see Gordon moves over, lets Rudd go by. And Jeff Gordon was up in the 2nd or 3rd spot. He has moved back. He's having problems with his cars. Rusty Wallace is coming in the pit. And John Earn. Dale Earnhardt's coming to John Kernan.
Rusty Wallace is in. Remember last time, 3 lug nuts fell off the right rear tire. They re-glued them, stripped the old glue off, and re-glued these lug nuts to make sure everything was okay. Left side's already on. Second can of fuel going in. A slight chassis adjustment. Once again, wanting to tighten the car up in the right-hand turns. Tires going on. Buddy Parrott, the crew chief, helping with the right front. They make the chassis adjustment on the right rear. 20.2, Jerry.
Earnhardt's crew already having changed one side, going to the other side of the car, as they will change all 4 tires. Another great pit stop up pit road by Wally Donovan, SC Pit Crew, as he is down pit road. Rusty Wallace is down pit road, but Earnhardt, by virtue of his location in the pits, was able to be the first car among those 3 to leave the pits. Now they wait in the Valvoline pits for Mark Martin. They have called him on pit road, and he will pit this time by.
And here he is coming off of corner number 11, slowing down, turning right, and headed for the pits, our leader, Mark Martin. Here's Jerry Punch once again.
We would expect to see the same routine here with Steve Mill and the Valvoline crew. Remember, they have to be a little bit concerned about the low RPM when they're running on the battery only. The alternator not functioning here in our lead car. They have turned off all the cooling devices. They want to sit here as little as possible. They don't want the car to overheat because all the blowers have been shut off. He now brings the car to a halt. Right side lug nuts coming off. Right side tires. They just now go to the left side of the car. They've taken the left rear and the left front lug nuts off. Now the crew, Jackman and company, scamper around to the left side. They fill it full of fuel, clean the windshield. Steve Mill checks with Mark Martin. Martin sitting very stoically. He is 21.0, and Jeff Gordon, he just brought his DuPont Chevrolet to the pits to the attention of Ray Abraham. Ken Schrader being shown as our leader as pit stops continue on this round, and will need at least one more stop to be able to make it the distance for full 90 laps here at the Budweiser at the Glen. Tires are changed on Jeff Gordon's car. He is down and away, being forward back to turn 1. won by Terry Labonte and Todd Bodine.
We are at the halfway point. Exactly 45 laps have been completed and 45 to go as Gordon and Labonte come out of the pits.